Hello, everyone. Good evening. I hope everyone is it's okay. Uh, Before we start, I would like to tell you a few things. This workshop is expected to have a group of both researchers and educators, and because of the diversity of people present, not all of us are from Tanzania. Some are from other countries. Will be using English. However, if you have something that you need clarification on using Swahili or the other language, kindly note it down. You can use our chat box. Someone will be noting all the questions and the issues that are happening, and we can address them as we are moving forward. So we can keep our mics on mute unless we are asked to speak, and we can use the chat box to get to introduce oneself and to get to know each other. So after 3 minutes, we are going to start officially. In the meanwhile, we can use the chat box. You can tell us where you're joining from, who are you, and something similar. So let us give at least a minute or two for other people who are joining as well. And good evening. Okay, thanks for those who have been joining. We did not start officially. We were just trying to welcome each other. So if you have any question, you have a query, just you can note it down or you can put it in the chat box. Someone is recording them and we can get over them as we move on with our session. Uh, I can see a good number of people have already joined. Others will keep joining. Um, Before we start, I would like to tell you that this session will be recorded, and because of the privacy issues, I have to let you know that the session will be recorded, and it will be shared in the group so that later you can go and check what we discussed. Welcome, Karibu, and good evening. So, I would like to start our session officially now, and this is how we are going to start it. How do you feel when thinking about the future of artificial intelligence? You can put a word or two in the chat box.
Yo, mom.
How do you feel when thinking about the future of artificial intelligence? So try to think, try to imagine, try to let it out. What do you think? How do you feel in just one word? Are you scared? Are you happy about it? Are you worried? How do you feel about the future of artificial intelligence? So before we start, let us get to that. How do you feel when thinking about the future of artificial intelligence? So try to think of where you are now. Try to think where we were before artificial intelligence. Try to think of the future. How do you feel? How do you feel? Because we are living in the age where AI is every place. So, how do you feel when thinking of it? Like today, we're interacting with it. Tomorrow, we are going to continue interacting with it. So, some are challenged, some are worried, some are excited and worried. The same. So, how do you feel? Just in one word, you can put it in the chat box. And it's okay if someone has said a word and you wanted to say it, you can just write it again. Yes, how do you feel? How do you feel when you start thinking of the future? Okay, so I've been trying to go to our chat boxes, and what I get to see it's worried, excited, terrifying. It will kill creativity. It will kill the thinking. So this is us, researchers and educators, thinking this way. How about people who have no idea of what AI is? Okay, and while we think how we feel about the future of AI, let us try to think of this question. What can you do that AI cannot do? What can you do that AI cannot? In just one word, what can you do that AI cannot? I'm sure we have been using AI for some times now. So, what can you do that AI cannot? Okay, I see being creative, being emotional, nothing, solving community challenges, making decisions. So, these are the things that we think to make the moral choices. Okay, so exercising through creativity, assessing documents written manually. Okay, I'm not sure about this, but as we keep going with these sessions or this series, we are going to unveil if it can do those things or not. So we are going to challenge our ideas on it as well. So before starting today, I wanted also to tell you about this. For those who are working in schools, for those who are working in institutions, and they're working on STEAM, either coding, robotics, or AI, I found this useful. We are collaborating with Asili Zanzibar in offering these sessions. So Asili Zanzibar, as the name reflects, they're in Zanzibar. They have the learning center, but they have the shop, the online shop, where they sell the STEAM kits, and they have the learning app, which uses AI. So with them, they are Techno Hub. They offer these tech workshops to schools, to students, and other individuals. So if you think you can explore activities mostly for kids aged 3 to 18, they are the best place you can go. Okay, while we are starting the session, this is the question that I normally ask ourselves to think of. How many AI powered tools have you used lately? Have you ever go into TikTok, Telegram? Have you ever used the social media? Have you ever used the Gmail? Have your phone assisted you to complete the sentence? Have you ever used the Google Maps? Have you used the speakers at home? Have you used the music recommendation, Netflix, Spotify, etc.? Have you ever used the photo filters? So when you think of how many AI tools have you used lately, it is like we are using them every minute, every hour. Some are having a very narrow AI that is very hard to understand, that is very hard to acknowledge, but some are the ones that we are using daily and we can acknowledge them. So, we are going to discuss AI in this workshop series, and mostly we are going to discuss the generative AI. So, we'll have two sessions. The first one is today, where we're going to see the AI opportunities, the realities, as well as the ethics. And after 2 weeks in 1st November, we are going to have to explore the research tools that are using the AI. And on 15th November, this will be for the invite only, mostly for the people working in institutions that are using GPTs. So they'll be working on how they can create and deploy GPTs. So for today, we are going to understand how AI can do their processes. We'll also get to see few of the AI practical tools and how can we integrate AI in our workflows and where can we draw the line. So as we are moving forward, if you have a question, kindly put it in the chat box and I'll get to it when we have a pause or something similar. So the first question is, why are we having a session like this? We did a little survey over the past few weeks, and 88% of people have either no skills or have used only one to two or three tools. So when we ask them, how many tools do you know of AI? They can say, I know only one tool, two tools, or three tools. And only 12% they are sure or they have used more than one tool. They are sure of the tools they're using. So when you have a smartphone, you can have more than three tools, but most of us do not know how many tools are AI based. And most of us are only basing our usage in either one or two tools that are out there. And around this 88%, 87% of them have used ChatGPT. So we said, okay, now if we are going to have a session, let us use something that is being used by the most people, which is ChatGPT. However, we are going to touch base also the Gemini, the Copilot, and other tools that are out there. But before going there to see the tools, we have to understand these terminologies around AI. So when we speak of AI, this is how the machines can simulate the human intelligence. The key word here is simulation. So it does not work as a human intelligence, it just simulates. So how humans are learning, how humans are reasoning, how humans are doing the problem solving. So for the people who said it cannot do the logical reasoning, now we have to start questioning ourselves. Do really AI cannot do logical reasoning? How to make decisions, how to solve problems, and how to learn. Then we have generative AI. So here comes where most of us are using AI, specifically when we are using ChatGPT and similar chatbots or similar wrappers. So generative AI is that kind of AI where it's based on prediction powers. So it's based on the power of AI to generate new things like language, image, audio, media, and so on. This is what makes ChatGPT and similar apps to be able to generate things from the questions that you're putting. When you go to ChatGPT and tell it, please prepare a lesson plan, prepare a research topic, it leverages that prediction powers. It takes all the data you are giving it, trying to give you the reasoning from what it has learned. And we have large language models, in abbreviation LLM. This is the model that has been prompted by the vast amount of data to generate language that resemble human generated language. This is why when you go into ChatGPT, when you go into Gemini, etc., the speech you get there, the feedback you get there, it resembles the human language. It is not human language, but it resembles it. Then we have chatbot. So most of us, we are not interacting directly with the large language model or LLM. We interact with the chatbot. So when you go to ChatGPT, that ChatGPT is the chatbot. Behind it, there is a large language model which has this kind of data. And that question that you ask, that photo that you upload, we call it a prompt. So these are the instructions that us as users, we put it there so that you can direct a generator or a generative AI to complete a certain task. When we speak of AI, it did not just start in 2022 when ChatGPT was launched. From 1950s, artificial intelligence was there. And the term artificial intelligence was coined by McCarthy during the Dartmouth conference. So since then, we have been using artificial intelligence as the terminology referring to the machines, to machine learning, how the machines learns, reason, and act like in simulation of human capabilities. So in 1970s, 1960s, we had the early AI systems. In 1990s, with the vast amount of data, with the vast technological change, we started to have machine learning and neural networks. In 2000s, now we have the breakthrough in deep learning, natural language processing, and AI models, plus autonomous vehicles. Later in 2020s, now we have these human-led, we have these other developments like ChatGPTs. So we have been having AI since 1950s. So when we look on the AI, it did not just start yesterday. And we talked about how we spoke about machine learning and large language models. So when you are working with artificial intelligence, it is important to understand how machine learning works. So to understand how machine learning works will give you a perspective of how can you use the AI and how can you not use the AI. So to train a machine, first we have the labeled data. So even ChatGPT was being trained this way. That's why we have different models today. ChatGPT, we started with 3.5, we went to 4 mini, now we are in 5. And we are going to come into different models in the future. So with labeled data, it means they collect the data. These data are labeled. These are history, these are biology, these are chemistry, these are plants, these are flowers. Then a model identify the pattern. How a human work on this. Then we can have the humans to train the model. Uh, just yesterday we were speaking with a colleague of mine, and I told them, when you're going into ChatGPT, and you ask a question like, prepare a letter, it will give you a letter. Then it gives you the option to tell it whether you are satisfied with the answer or not. So when you are satisfied with the answer, it means you are training it know that this is the correct way to reply when asked for a letter of this instance. But when you refresh the data, when you reset the data, say generate again, it means it has to regenerate till you are satisfied. So that is the example of how it was trained. Then after training the model, now you can go and test the model. If it works or if it doesn't work. If it doesn't work, you'll go back to stage 1, stage 2, stage 3. After it is working, now you can create a software applications. Like we have ChatGPT now because they had the labeled data, they had the models, they had humans to train, and they have other training methods where machine train other machine to think. They tested the model. Now they created a software application like the chatbot that we have that we can use to generate the text, photos, and videos. And I'm being told there is a question in the chat box that does ChatGPT create things in its own or analyze collected data? So when ChatGPT gives you the answer, it takes the answer from the data that it has. So when you tell it write a letter, you are not the first person to ask it to write a letter. So a lot of letters have been uploaded as labeled data in ChatGPT. So ChatGPT has been learning how to write letters, what to start when you're writing letters. So it will give you your demands, but it will dwell on the past data that has been labeled. That is why whenever we are doing something with AI, we are supposed to check and recheck if the answer is correct or not and can fit our environment. So this is one of the examples of how to confuse a machine learning. And this one was used on image recognition. I did not find a good one for language text. So when you look on these photos, you can see we have some cookies, we have puppy, and etc. So a machine is being given a photo of a dog, not just one photo. It will be given multiple photos, up to 100 or so. When you have these photos, now the machine knows, okay, this is a dog, this is a cookie. So to confuse it, you take something similar. So when you look on this photo in the first instance, they're looking like the same. So can the machine know what is a dog and what is not a dog? This is one of the examples of how to confuse a machine learning. So if it cannot understand or if it cannot give the answer as it is supposed to give, then you can go back into training it till it is into perfection. So let us explore some of these chatbots. Most of us, we have OpenAI with ChatGPT. We have Google Gemini. It was called Bard at first. Also have Microsoft Copilot and Bing. So OpenAI and Microsoft Copilot, They're using the similar architectures. And in ChatGPT now we have five. I did not put it in these slides. We have Google Gemini and we have Microsoft Copilot. These are the three that we found out most of us are using. So in our discussion, we are going to base on these three most. So most of us are using ChatGPT for writing, explanations, ideations, and some of us noted that they are using Grammarly, Quillbot, Otter, and Elicit. And we are going to come to see how this works in the use case. But why are we using AI in education and research? When we are working on research, when we are working in education, we have some of repetitive tasks. Like you are a tutor, you want to give your students research titles. You have 100 students. You want to group them into 10 groups. Every year you are doing the same. This is repetitive task. When you want to do a lesson plan, when you want to do grading on objective questions, all the questions have the answer A, B, C. Why bother use a human to mark them while you can use machine language to mark them? Also, when we have separate, differentiated learning and accessibility. Today, someone who speaks English can understand any other language. Someone who speaks Swahili can understand any other language. You just take your research, you just take your work, ask AI to translate to you. It will give you the transcript. It will give you the transcript. It will give you the audio. It can generate the video for you. Also, when we have a vast amount of data and we want the data analysis and feedback, some of the works that we are doing and you want to get the data easily, you can just upload your data into AI. You can get a snapshot of that data, what that data says. So now let us try to use a chatbot. So you can use ChatGPT, you can use Gemini, you can use Copilot, and we are going to share this with others so that every one of us can learn. So what we are going to do is first you are going to jot down your thoughts and feelings. Then you are going to reflect on the chatbot's performance. Then we are going to share. So we'll start with the first example here. We can start with something fun, either to create a recipe or to brainstorm idea for a vacation. So I'll use this example. I know some of us here are as researchers, some of us educators, but let us just use this example. So what we have to do, think of a question. After thinking of a question, try to write it into ChatGPT and tell ChatGPT to generate a rubric on that question. So we can take 5 minutes to do this. I'll be going to my ChatGPT as well. So just go to ChatGPT or go to Gemini. When you go there, try to generate a rubric feedback for assignment. You can use any subject. Or for me,
ọ̀rẹ́ sí eégún kò tí ì ṣe ọ̀rọ̀ tó tún máa jáde náà yẹn jẹ́ òun eégún tún jáde again so.
so you can generate a rubric for any subject. For me, I just wrote generate a rubric to mark history of First World War to standard for students. So for me, I picked the standard for students. So you can pick it for any subject that you think it can work for you. We have 2 minutes left. Just put it into any chatbot, not necessarily ChatGPT. You can use Copilot, you can use Gemini, you can use DeepSeek. Okay, that was me. I hope you have some of the answers. We are not going to discuss them till we go to the next step. So, as you did on that, try with the research as well. Ask ChatGPT to find you a research topic in your area. So if you are working on engineering, ask ChatGPT to generate a research topic for you. If you are working on teacher education, ask ChatGPT to generate a topic for you. Then we are going to use these two examples. Okay, so I hope you have tried something. So now let us work on something called structured prompt. While we started, you say prompt is something that we give uh, to the chatbot or to the LLM to tell us what do we want. These are the instructions that we give to the chatbots or our chat GPT and whatever. But normally, this is where our experience or our the answer we get, they depend more on our prompt. And this is the first step into managing the AI usage. So we are going to see this. Then we are going to work on the similar questions that we had and try to see what changed. So in structured prompt, I'll show my example for another time. When I was when I asked about generate the rubric, I just gave the chat GPT generate a rubric to mark history of first World War to standard for students. Somehow this is a structured prompt, though it was not a fully structured prompt. So what is a structured prompt? When we are working with the chatbots, as I've said before, they have the vast amount of data. Okay, you are Hamis, you are Hamza, you are Martha, you are Adnan. The AI will take time to understand what you need. You need to make AI as something that knows you better. So, if you want the best answer, you need a very structured prompt that can work on your case. And how do you make it? The first one is to explain your role. What is your role? If you're not explaining your role, the AI will pick any role for you. In my examples here, in ChatGPT, it just gave me the rubric. In DeepSeek, it assumed I am a teacher. What if I'm not a teacher? What if I'm just an instructional designer working to create an online course on First World War? So you need to explain your role even before starting the issue. So I could say, I am a teacher of Standard 4, teaching history. Or you can tell ChatGPT that it is a teacher because it is going to work on your behalf, that you are a teacher of Standard 4 and you need to grade your students. With this, you already have your role. Then you need to have a goal. The goal is something you need to achieve. Like when we have a rubric, I could say, you are a teacher, blah, blah, done with that. Now I give it a goal. You have to create a rubric to mark the questions. And these questions have to base on First World War. So that is the goal. And the third step is step-by-step instruction. So in this question or in this prompt that is being attempted, what is the step-by-step instruction? What do you need in the rubric or in that research question? What do you need in that question? For instance, in my research question, I could say, create a title that reflects the current Tanzanian economy and can be managed by a master's student. So my role will be, you are a researcher in agricultural field, the goal is to prepare a title that I can work as my final year project. What you have to do is you have to create the research question and give the hypothesis or give the objectives. Then I will go for personalization. In personalization, now it's where we call it to give it a sense of ownership. When you just leave the prompt as it is, then it is you're not going to get the answer that you can feel that yes, this is what I needed. Someone just few days sent me a work and said, I want to humanize this AI work. And I asked her, what did you ask while you were prompting your GPT? So if you can prompt well, the answer is going to come out in a structure that you can say, okay, now I have only few things to work on. Then you have to work on constraints. For my task, I asked about First World War. Did I ask about West Africa? Did I ask about East Africa? Did I ask about which area in specific? So if I'm not asking like such, I'm going to get the answers that will not help me in any AI usage. But if I'm going to use structured prompt, now I'll get the answers that can be useful, and I can get that affordances the AI can offer. So, you know the example that you used on creating a rubric and a research question. Let us go back there and let us use structured prompt. So now go back to ChatGPT, or if you use Gemini or DeepSeek, go back there and rewrite the same question, but now use structured prompt. Instead of asking just a research topic, use the role, use the goal, use a step-by-step instruction, personalize it, and give it the constraint. Like I want a research work, I could say, do this topic for me. My goal is this. This is how you have to do. This is what I need. In personalization, I can tell I want to do this in Mwanza, I want to do this in Dodoma. In constraint, I can say I want to ask the questions only to teachers or so. So let us take 5 minutes, go back to our original question. You can pick just one, either of the rubric or the research, and try to use the structured prompt and see what do we get from there. Naomba usiwashe TV kwanza, nipo kwenye kikao. Ukiwasha toa sauti kabisa. Okay, I hope everyone is trying to work on his topic or the question that they had before. So I can also go back to my question as well and try it out and see. So I said we have a role. We have the role, we have the goal, we have step-by-step instruction, we have the personalization and the constraint. So I hope some of you already have the answers that they can share with us. With me, this is what I've got. So this was my first reply. When I asked for a rubric, it gave me the assessment area, the indicators, the score range, and performance indicators. So it gave me the 5 rankings, total 20 marks, like this. But when I put the goal, I put the role, I put the step by step, and others, it first gave me the questions and localized. Then it gave me the key answers and it gave me the marks for each question. Then it gave me the rubric and criteria. It also gave me the grading scale, also the teacher notes. It also asked me, can it prepare the Swahili version of the same? So this was on my side. Because you have tried it as well, you can raise up a hand or open up a mic and share what changed from just asking the questions and using the structured prompt when going into the questions. Yes, Hamad, we can start with you. Yes, Hamad.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you well.
Okay. Uh, all right. Let me start by comparing the first prompt and the second prompt. Unfortunately, I cannot share my screen. What I've seen in the first prompt is that the answers are not detailed compared to the second prompt. And in the prompt, it like give the detailed answers, and it goes down to the to even give like examples and the real time application. So to me, the comparing the two prompt, the first one and the second one, I do prefer the second one, which is a structured prompt because it give like more detailed and more information compared to the first one. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else who can share? Yes, anyone else who have tried who can share with us what changed when you used a normal prompt and a structured prompt? Our brother here has tried to share with us what they got. You can talk it, you can tell us. It's not necessarily to share up your screen. You can just tell us what really changed when you just have your prompt and when you use the structured prompt.
Go ahead. What time is it?
Yes, Isaac?
Yeah, thank you very much, Hamis. In the structured prompt, I actually have more details. And that's to agree with what the immediate past speaker said, that the structured prompting results in more detailed outcomes. Thank you very much.
Okay. So, anyone else would like to share as well?
Just to add on that,
To us out.
can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. To add on what Isaac has said, apart from giving the detailed explanation, but also the second prompt or the structured prompt, it gives you like the specific, like the specific answer, because the first one it's like giving the general, the general context, the general overview of the topic, but the second one it gives you the specific context. Thank you. Just to add
Okay.
on what Isaac have been said.
Okay, thank you. Others are trying to share it in the chat box. So this is uh, this is what we are doing in every first session of artificial intelligence literacy. We, at first, before we go into using any tool, we need to start to understand how can we use that tool. So AI is just a tool. When you want to drive a car, you want to know what accelerator does, what a shift does, what do I do when I want to go left, what do I do when I want to go right. So this is among the structured prompt that I use mostly. Other people can tell you, you can do this, you can do that, everything is okay. And a few people now, they're having what they call engineering prompt. There are people who just sit out there trying to create prompts for other people that can use. And one person asked me in the chat box, is there a specific limit for a prompt? there is no specific limit for a prompt. You can have whole 5 pages as a prompt. You can have the whole document, because if you want to do the analysis between 2 documents, for instance, you cannot have a prompt of just 3 to 5 lines. Your prompt is going to be long. Your step-by-step instruction have to be long. The personalization as well, the constraint. Let's say you want to write a computer program. You want the AI to give you the basic structure of the data you are going to work with. To do that, you are not going to write just 2 or 3 lines. So this is how we can use structured prompt. So when we are going to start using the AI tools now in the coming sessions, I expect all of us are going to use the structured prompts so that we get the better and the best answers forward. So another key issue when we are using AI is where to draw the line. We have seen what AI can do. We have seen how these models are being trained. And now come to the ethical part. We are educators, we are researchers, and ethics is one among the things that will keep us as better users of these AI tools. So most concerns are into plagiarism, accuracy, transparency, and bias. When you are working with AI, it can give you unintentional copying. We say AI models have been trained on a vast amount of data. The data that has been trained on can be books, can be papers, and right now our AI tools can browse the internet. So when you just take the data from AI, you use it as your own without further research, it can cause unintentional copying. Another thing is accuracy. AI generated content may have errors or fabricated data. Like now, if you are doing a research and you ask the AI to give you the data, even if it is not there, it will give you the data. And this is one of the key issues that AI have, what we call overconfidence. Other people are calling it hallucination, but overconfidence is much appropriate well. So it will give you the data even if they're not there. And another issue is transparency. It is not bad to use AI, but do you acknowledge the usage of AI? You are creating a piece of work. Do you disclose that this work was co-created with AI? Or you say the work is your own? And another thing that is a risk is on bias. Most of the data that has been trained on these AI models are not from Africa, specifically our sub-Saharan Africa. Although now we have AI systems that are being trained around in the house in sub-Saharan Africa, but most of what exists out there are not from Africa. So we need to be extra careful when we are using the AI models. So how can we set the boundaries? The first one is to set or to define the roles. What can human do and what can AI do? While we were starting the session, a few of us said we are afraid that it will take the critical thinking, and this is where the definition of roles comes in. We use AI for support, not a replacement. So if you use AI for support, that is well. But if you use it for as your replacement, now we are going on another place. So AI can assist you in summarization, but the validation is your part. You tell it to write a letter, to check the errors, to check the content, to check the substance of that letter is your task. Another is accuracy. If you are working with AI, acknowledge the use of AI. Now, in most of the medical research are being done co-edited or co-done with AI. And people are saying, we did this with AI because some of the data, it can take a human a lot of, or a number of days to complete analysis. But in AI, it's just in a blink of an eye. Another is transparency. When we are working on this, always double check for accuracy. Also, you cannot use it to drive your conclusions. You are working with humans in your research. You are working with the human data. Read and be brave on it. Also, be cautious when using AI in areas involving sensitive data. Follow the guidelines. If your institutions have the guideline on how to use the AI, then work on it and use it. Among the things that are inappropriate use in when you submit AI generated text without critical review, or when you use AI to fabricate your data or results. Your PhD supervisor needs a work to be done in a week. You say, okay, I cannot go to the field. AI, give me the data. You are working in your office, you want a promotion. AI, give me the data. These are some of the inappropriate use. And before closing, I would like to share these final 10 tips for today. I got this from London School of Artificial Intelligence and London School of Economics. They combined various tips from various sources and they take the best 10. So, the first one is know when to use different models. Even when you're using ChatGPT, it has different models. Know what to use. That is the first one. The second one is be specific and descriptive as possible. And this is where our structured prompts comes in. The context, the outcome, the length, the format, the style. Be specific, be descriptive. What do you really need? The third one, teach AI what you want with an example. So if I want AI to do a literature review with me, if I want AI to work on methodology part, if I want AI to give me a poem, then give it an example. Find the work that you see the best. Give it to AI. AI is going to work on that. And always start simple, then fine tune. And tell AI what to do and not what to do. When it is giving you the answers, what should it do and what should it not do? 6 is split it up. And split it up, in other words, we say, take consideration of contextual windows. When you ask AI a question, don't just get one reply in one chat. For instance, I want my work to have 3 parts. I will tell AI, I need 3 parts, but start with the first part. When it gives me the first part, now I can go on and say, now give me the second part. Then now give me the third part. When you split it up, you give it a contextual window. It is like when you speak to a human, you give them time to think. Another trick that you can use, or another tip you can use, get the model to slow down and check its work. So you give it a prompt, you go to the answers, you are not satisfied. Don't panic. Just tell, okay, now think deeper, recheck your work, and give me the best work. The AI will do that. It simulates our thinking, it simulates our learning. So it will go back to the work, it will redo the work, it will check the work, and if it has issues, it will let you know. And another tip is pretend to be a particular person. And I use this most when I work on a number of projects. You cannot be Elon Musk, you cannot be Jeff Bezos. So I want to create a business idea, and this idea revolves around technology. I want to get, what if it was Elon Musk taking the same project today? Pretend to be that. Ask it, if you are Elon Musk and you want to invest in Tanzania on a technology project, this is the capital that you are having, this is the population you're going to serve, what will you do? So it will take the data from that particular person, it will pretend to be that particular person, and you can have that thinking. And another issue is get AI to write or improve its own prompt. When you work with AI, tell it to give you the prompt. Tell it, write the prompt to get something done. And we are going to see this further when we are creating GPTs in our third session. And lastly, start creating a GPT and use it for further learning. When you are working with AI, you cannot always go to this chat box and work on it. If you are working on one project every day, create a GPT, give it the data that you want to work with, give it the background, work on it. If you are a biology teacher, you want your students to work with on a certain project, and you want them to have specific guardrails, create a GPT, give it to them. And the takeaways we can have today is use AI to enhance human generated language, not to replace it. Whether you are doing research, whether you are an educator, do not replace the human language. Enhance it. Be there. Work. Then use AI to enhance whatever you have worked on. And another thing is AI is intelligent in a way that it mimics human intelligence, but it is very different from human intelligence. So it can mimic the way we think, it can mimic the way we solve our issues, but it is very different from human intelligence. So in some ways, we can say artificial intelligence is not a good word to describe these tools, but we should keep in mind these tools are not intelligent, nor do they have intelligence. So when we work with them, let us be observant, let us be alert, and let us not be neglect, so that we use the AI for the betterness. So thanks for today. I'll end my presentation here and we can hear your thoughts. And that was all for today. So we'll start with I'll start with taking the questions from you. Then I'll go to the chat box and we can do a little reflection and close up for the day.